Welcome to the Dowden Podcast. I'm your host, the official CRG, and today we are going to be interviewing the two brothers behind the upcoming brand Freedom Clothing and how they not only got started as a company, but everything from inspirations to new drops and even the challenges they have to overcome in such an oversaturated market. Now, I do have to say, some of the audio and video quality in this episode is a little shaky because the two brothers are recording in another country. So please make sure to stay to the very end because their story is very inspirational and we talk a lot about everything from the brand, how they got started, the challenges, and everything in between. But before we get started, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. That way you don't miss any weekly episodes and posts. You can find video of this episode strictly on YouTube, but the audio everywhere else. But with that said, how you guys doing today?
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good, bro.
Good,
Finally,
good.
finally able to talk. We've been trying to set this up for a while, a couple of weeks, maybe like over a
Very
month
long
even.
time. Yes,
Um,
yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm super
Me
excited.
too.
Um, yeah, no, I appreciate you guys coming on. Well, just before we kind of get into like the story and the brand, why don't you guys just tell us a little about yourselves?
okay, so my name is David. I got an Instagram account called Journey to Paradise. A lot of people say Paradise. It's actually Paradise, but I don't mind it. Whatever, however you want to
Yeah,
pronounce it. Yeah, I'm 22 years old. I work in in finance right now, and I make content on the
that's
side
awesome.
and run a clothing brand with my brother on the side.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm Rodrigo, which is harder to pronounce. I'm
A little bit.
they. I mean, English people tend to like not be able to say the the R, but
Yeah.
you can call me Rodrigo. Um, I'm 20 years old. I run the account Tatakai World, and I study computer science, which isn't a really fun major, but
Yeah, I guess that depends how you look at it, right? So what was it kind of like growing up? Where did you guys grow up? What was the life like? Did you guys kind of live in the city, the outer parts, what was that like?
So we're both Portuguese, 100% Portuguese. We live in Portugal. Um,
Okay, wow.
First few years of our life, we actually lived in the U.S. Because we
Okay.
had one of our parents actually studying there in
Oh, wow, okay.
Michigan State or Michigan University. I don't.
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, after they got their PhD, we moved back home, and we lived in the city of Porto, which is the second
Go
biggest city in the country, has a population of
Oh, wow.
around a
a
million.
million. Yeah, it's a city of the north.
Yeah, it's in the north. I
Oh,
mean,
wow. Yeah,
it's the
that's
second biggest with a
big.
million because Portugal isn't the biggest country in the world. And yeah, we've lived
Right.
here ever since. It's a city. It's not the biggest city in the world, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
city, and yeah, we've always been city boys.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know that's way different city life than here, I'm sure. I mean, it's crazy. Everything's through the roof here, the prices, all that crazy
I
stuff.
but
We
here
could
as well.
we could go into a whole different episode about
Yeah,
that.
we could, but here as well. I mean, I think the average, because here what happens is you got um, low wages and
Yep.
housing prices are through the roof because a lot of people
Yep.
nowadays are working remote, so they'll get paid like American wages or English wages, and they'll come live here. And if we just I get X amount of money, an American or English person with my kind of level job gets paid at least like 5 to 10
Yep.
times what I get paid.
And it throws everybody else
Yeah,
off.
exactly,
That's how it
exactly.
starts. Yep.
But I mean, it's just,
Nope.
it's the way the world works. Can't really complain.
Yep. No, exactly. So how did you guys first get into fashion and apparel?
Ooh.
Touch
Um, I guess you were more into fashion than me.
Yeah,
Much
I
more
would
in the
Yeah.
say so.
beginning, at least.
Really? Okay.
But we actually wanted to do a. In the beginning, we wanted to do a Christian clothing brand, right?
We did, yeah.
Oh,
We
wow.
wanted
Okay.
But
to be
That's
a fully
awesome.
Christian clothing brand because we're both
Yeah.
believers in the faith, but we kind of thought that it seems a bit, even if we say like 20% of the revenue will donate to our local church or will donate to some charity. We always felt like
It's not. It's weird making money off
we
God.
just thought it was kind of weird to be profiting off the name of God, because we do,
No,
yeah,
100%.
because we do want to make this, our full time, yeah, our full time activity.
Yeah,
So
but like
Yeah.
in the process of kind of building it and researching more about it, it it's a really fun. Like I think fashion is a really fun way to like express yourself, and I feel like that's what our brand is. It's like we don't want to be like so much of a brand, but more so of a message, and I think that's pretty like cool to express who you are through your.
yeah, that's how I
Absolutely.
feel. The
I
clothing
love that.
brand isn't. I won't say it's not about the clothes, but the clothes are just a way to express uh, the message of how we feel people should how people should think, like, being free, being
Right.
your full self, and not being trapped by the external pressures of the world or the internal pressures of your own mind. That's how we feel.
Exactly.
And we think,
Yep.
and we also think, um, having our own clothing brand is the way to do that, because after Christian clothing, we wanted to do anime clothing because it's the content that we made, but we couldn't
Yeah.
do it as well because you have to get a license, and it costs like.
So yeah, that was actually one of my questions. So what's kind of the connection you guys have with anime? Because I do see there's a lot of it on your like social media, and I even personally I have a connection with anime. Like even I think it was yesterday I posted something about I don't know if you guys have ever seen My Hero
Yes,
Academia.
sir.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I love that. And I always talk about like how Izuku Midoriya grew up, never had a quirk, right? Inherited All Might and became the biggest superhero in the world. Like
Yes,
you
sir.
literally can do whatever you want. Like you can make that you. Like that can be your reality. So what's your guys' connection with anime?
So originally we not even originally, and right now we run, well, going even back, we've always I guess been more exposed to anime, maybe a little bit more. I mean, now it's pretty mainstream, but when we were younger, a bit more than the average person. We watched a lot of Dragon Ball growing up because it would air here.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we
Yeah,
Love
it's the
Dragon Ball.
best.
we watched Attack on Titan when it started airing.
Yeah, we watched Attack on Titan when like the year it came out, or the
Really?
year after. It was like 2014, I think. So it
13.
was 13,
Yeah.
like 10, more than 10 years ago. And we have that poster right there is an Attack on Titan poster, and we got a couple more. Uh,
That's awesome. Actually, in this kind of corner I have Goku, the
Yes,
Goku
that's a
sir.
Black.
W. That's a W. And so we've
That's
always really
awesome.
liked anime. A lot of the shows we watched were anime, and when we started our accounts, we post on our, I won't call it main account, but our biggest accounts. We post self improvement content with anime
I mean,
clips
like
on them.
because
Yep.
for me personally, like I always got really motivated by it, and so
Absolutely. So do I. I'm
Yeah,
the
it's
same
like
way. I mean
it's such an
go ahead.
expressive medium. Like the characters express. It's
Yes.
hard to not get like super motivated and to like bump
right.
your fist and be like,
No, really, that's it always has a story behind it too. And it you really can connect yourself with it. Like I understand that 100%. Like I'm anime and me, like there was when I was growing up, I had a certain connection with it to where like I didn't watch too much of it, but like right when I turned 15, 16, it was just all in. Everything was anime.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
kind of.
I just
I
loved
feel
it.
like a lot of people maybe around our age can relate to that because it just hits differently than a lot of today's Netflix shows, and yeah.
100%.
Is My Hero your favorite show?
No, it's Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball. Yep. Yeah, I like all the older animes. Like I don't know if you've ever heard of Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah,
That's a really
I
good
think
one.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
He hasn't
I
watched it.
haven't watched it, but my
I
brother has.
I remember
Yeah.
I criticized it because I don't like the lack of story that it has, because it's very episodical.
Yeah. It's more action
Mm.
than
Yeah,
yeah.
but I mean, it's probably like the most aesthetic show I've watched. It's just every single
It
shot
is.
is just so
It's
aesthetic. It just looks so nice, and the music is so nice.
golden. Golden. Especially it was done in the 90s. So for the editing and how they put it
And it's been
together,
really influential.
it
I
was
know a lot
perfect.
of like big directors in like Hollywood and stuff. They say they really like the show. I mean, it's
Yep.
can't
Yeah.
hate on it. It's can't handle it,
No,
honestly.
absolutely. So we kind of talked about it a little bit, but what kind of inspired you guys to make your own clothing brand, and why did you choose to do it?
Um, I guess like for me, uh, because our clothing is named Freedom, right? Freedom for me is a very strong
Right.
and purposeful word because, like, as someone growing up, I've always been very like anxious, for example, and so I've always been like trapped within like my thought, my anxiety, whatever. Um, and so I've always felt like I couldn't really express myself fully because of it. And then also, like, my sport is basketball, and I had a surgery done on my ankle, um, which limited me and which was a very, very long rehab, much longer than
Oh wow.
anticipated. It was like 2 years,
Yeah, it was
and
really long. It was-
because I had like
Oh
extra
wow.
problems, whatever, and not being able to have like the freedom yet again to like move my body freely was something that affected me very negatively. And so, I mean, there's other
yeah, and I guess
other
to add
Absolutely.
on, for me, I'm like a year and a half, 2 years older than him, and so I finished my degree this past summer, and I got a job,
Yeah.
and um, I think through our accounts and through just general maturing throughout life, well, I just kind of realized I kind of like woke up. I feel like I was kind of coasting through life. I was doing my degree and I was doing fine, and I was like having a good time, hanging out with friends, doing this, going to the gym, doing that. And I kind of woke up. I was like, wow, do I really want to? What do I really want to do? Like, do I really want to just get this job in finance and just be kind of not
Kind of
really
just hit
content?
you,
Yeah,
like
just
stay at the desk. Yeah.
yeah, and I kind of realized, yeah, I really don't want to do that. I don't think there's any problem if you do want to do that. I know a lot of my really good friends. They, it's how they want to live, and it's completely fine if you do. Um, but it's not for me, and so
Right.
the idea of being free is also that for me. And what I think is really cool about just the word freedom is that we have two really different um, backstories, but it all the paths come to freedom. All paths lead to freedom, and that's where
fact.
um, we really
Exactly.
came with the name and clothing brand. I mean, we won't we will be fully honest. We thought it was not the hardest way to monetize. We were like, we see a lot of people who are able to do clothing. I think we would be able to do clothing as well. There's a lot of info online about how to start a clothing
Right.
brand, and so we felt like the barrier wasn't too high. But then we
Yeah.
actually started doing it, and we started realizing, okay, this is not as easy as the YouTube videos of people trying to sell you a course, because they're trying to sell you a course, so they're like, oh, it's really easy, just sign up to my course, and I'll just tell you
Yeah,
how to do
it's
it. It's not
always
that
like
easy.
that.
Um, but yeah, I'm really glad that we picked it. I don't think it'll be the last thing we do
Yeah.
because um, we want to be free, so we want to do what we want to do. Um, yeah, but for now, clothing, we're really
I
happy
love
with
it.
it. We're also trying to get more into fashion. Yeah, I was I guess more into fashion than him, but then I kind of like started lazing around, just
No, I
wearing
think
whatever.
I'm more into fashion.
Yeah. Oh, so now it's switched. You guys did a little
Yeah.
I don't
switch
know if
now.
I agree, but it's
Oh, okay, okay.
fair enough.
So when did you guys make your first design, and how did you produce it?
First design was around almost a year ago. It was around May 2024, June 2024.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
around
probably.
that, and we designed it via Photopea, which is the free version of
Photopia and kind of.
of Photoshop. So you really can do it on on a budget. You can design stuff on a budget. You don't need 10 bands to start. You really don't.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I tell
you
people
really
that
don't. I
all the
I
think
mean, you need
time.
some money though.
I mean, you need to buy
Yes,
a
you
sample
need
and you need to
some.
buy it, the bulk, or you can do a pre-order method if you want, where
Right.
you get the sale first and then you buy. But you don't need $20,000. So if that's the
No.
idea that's holding you back, just get
Yeah.
rid of it. To be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, we designed it with Photopea and Canva, and then we used Alibaba to find a manufacturer. It's really good if you want to find manufacturers in China, which we would recommend China.
Okay.
Um,
Is it cheaper there? Is that why?
it's a combination of cheap,
Mhm.
safe, and quality. I mean,
But
Yeah.
we also had, I mean, for our next job, it's gonna be a
yeah,
Portuguese
we're
manufacturer
switching permanently to a Portuguese manufacturer.
because the quality is like
Oh wow.
insane.
Okay.
But it also was because like since we were starting out, Portuguese manufacturers do not did not want to work with us, even though we are locally
Right.
from Portugal. They did not want to work with
Because
us.
they have
Right. You're brand new.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also they're a lot more flexible in China because for the Portugal ones, there's something called an MOQ, which is a minimum order quantity, and in Portugal it was
Okay.
a lot higher because they don't
Like,
want to work with
mm,
you if you're
Oh
only
wow.
going to produce 20 shirts or 20 hoodies or
No,
whatever.
yeah, that makes sense because they, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Now, okay, so kind of leading into that, what is kind of the process like, or what's the price points when it comes to just materials, t-shirts, prints, things like that? How does that kind of work?
I mean, at the moment we, it's been, our we sell it for basically the price it costs to like make it, right?
No,
Really?
not the price. Well, because we cover shipping.
No, no, no,
Right.
raw price.
Why? I'm gonna say now, I think your guys' prices are great. There's people who start clothing brands and they will put it like $100, 150.
Yeah, our
I mean,
idea was, and it was more his idea, so I'll give him credit for it. Was we want to focus on building a name for
building a
ourselves.
name and building trust so that people
Yeah,
know it's good
Yes,
quality. And so our
absolutely.
prices are much cheaper than they should be. Like I
realistically, yeah, they should be higher, but
100%.
we don't.
yeah,
Why would anyone buy from us if they're higher?
yeah,
That's what we think. We just started this. Why would anyone want to trust you if you're just starting out? Why wouldn't I just buy from Nike or from Adidas? You know. So
Right.
you have to understand that you have to build your name first, build your trust first,
that's our
and
vision of it.
that's our vision and something we do in every single order. And this is a little plug for whoever wants to whoever wants to take advantage of it. Is every order we offer a little gift. What the gift
That's
is, we got to
awesome.
find out.
Hey,
Link
there you
in bio.
go. That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, there you go. Link in bio. All the socials, for
I
everything.
appreciate it.
Instagram accounts, everything will be down below. Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
How do you guys kind of experiment with new ideas? Is it kind of just like a shoot in the dark? Do you go to different editors? Do you like do a single print and test it and then go from there? How does that work?
it. We do kind of like shoot in the dark. Honestly, which might not be. It might cause more misses, but
Yeah.
we know that eventually something will stick, and that's how we kind of approach it, especially since we're still in a starting phase. So our idea is kind of, why would we want to limit ourselves right now? Maybe
Right.
in the future, we'll be more, we'll have a different process for making some decisions. But for now, we just, whatever comes to our mind and we think is worth writing down, we think is worth, putting on show, we think is worth making an edit about. We kind
Yeah.
of do, because if it misses, tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow we can
Yeah,
try again.
and
Exactly.
I guess you get really used to the mentality, which I think is a really good thing from social media, like to to fail,
100%.
like because most of your
Yes.
yeah, most of your posts, I'm assuming like you feel the same way, like most of your stuff will fail, and like
Yep.
one in every three, four, five maybe hits, and then it's back to failing, and
Yep.
then it hits.
Yep.
So you kind of get used to failing, which I think is like really good for
Yeah,
progressing as a human, I
because
guess.
Yeah,
that's what
absolutely.
holds most people back, is the
I
fear
mean,
of
it
failing at something.
sucks to
Yeah,
fail.
no,
It's
you don't want to be bad. Nobody wants to
Yeah.
be bad at anything. And
No.
there's this really cool quote I like and it's really something that inspired me, especially with these edits we make, because it's really like you'll flop like 5 times in a row, and then you'll have a great post and you'll feel on top of the world, and you'll just go back to flopping.
Yep.
And sometimes you'll have a week where you're like on top of the world, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna quit my job, move to LA.
Yeah. And that's it.
But then you go
Literally.
back to failing. And there's this really cool quote that I like by Roger Federer, who, I'm not super into tennis, but a lot of people say he's the GOAT of tennis. And he was giving this
Yeah.
speech at some university, I think. And he said, I lost 45% of the points I played. So in tennis, like each round, he's lost 45% of the rounds he played. And this is arguably the greatest tennis player of all time. Almost half of his points
Right.
were lost. And that just really puts into perspective that failing is just a step in the journey towards success. It's not the end of it.
Yes.
It's just one of the steps. And for I get it. I get why it's the step that stops most people, because I'm a person just the same, exactly the same as anyone watching this video, and it really sucks to fail. But I mean, I'll just be blunt. If you want to achieve anything, you just got to get used to it, because you're not gonna
You have to.
not gonna achieve anything without sucking at first and failing many times.
No. No, not at all. You have to learn to overcome, especially in a business like this. I mean, I tell people all the time, you're gonna fail, things are gonna happen, you're gonna face roadblocks, but what makes you different from everybody else is how you respond to
Facts.
them.
Exactly. Completely agree.
W mentality.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, when I was kind of looking on your guys' website, I did want to ask, do you guys partner with like customers or different brands, or how do you guys do that?
So right now we're not partnering with anybody.
Okay.
We're we kind of
We
just
partner with. We have a affiliate link thingy.
yeah. If people can get an affiliate link,
Yeah.
so they can get a sale and get a commission.
Yeah.
Um, but we're not really partnering with anybody as of right now. We do have the hopes to in the future do some. We have ideas for some collab drops, especially with as we said, we wanted to do anime clothing, so our dream would be doing some sort of Attack on Titan drop because it's our favorite show.
That would be awesome. I could see it now, just like just the anime with your logo or the different like phrases. God, it'd be so good.
Yeah, we would really like to, because we feel like we see a lot of more gym brands doing these anime collabs, Young LA,
Yep.
and they make great clothes, but we feel like we would just do it different. We feel like I always get the impression that they're trying to sell a t-shirt, and that's not how we want to approach it. At least we really want to sell, in this case, the show or the message, the quote, yeah,
Absolutely.
who we are.
Absolutely. What obstacles do you guys face, if any, as a growing brand? Because I'll tell you right now, as a growing podcaster, I mean, there's obstacles every single day. I mean, we had one before this episode. So, what are some
Yeah.
things that you guys kind of face on a daily basis when it comes to your brand?
Um, I'd say one of the main ones would be the fear. I don't know if this counts as an obstacle, but the since it's such a saturated market,
Hmm.
like competing against so many brands is very scary, especially because
Absolutely.
they have like whole marketing teams around them and have like
Yep.
all their posts are super high quality, and it's
Yep.
kind of like I'm just starting to like figure this out, and it's gonna take time, and my first post might not be as professional, and then it goes into the like, do I really want to post something that's really not that professional, because then I don't look as a very reputable brand. And
Right. It's a
I'd
constant
say
hit
like,
or miss, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can add, um,
Yeah.
it really is a conjunction to me of being beginners, where we have to learn everything from scratch, essentially. And right now we're trying to learn a lot of videography related skills,
Yeah.
um, like shooting more cinematic type videos and color grading and
Mm.
editing.
I saw that on your recent reels. I really like your guys' content with just the pictures and like you guys are really hitting it on the nail. Like I'm telling
Thank you,
you,
guys.
like from a
Hey,
person seriously though, from a person who's watching it, like it makes you want to stop. Like you're not just gonna scroll. Like you see that and you're like, oh wait a second. So keep
Thank
that
you.
up. It's definitely bringing in the viewers. I mean, I've seen your
that's the
guys'
goal.
from the last time. I think last month. I swear I checked your account. I think your Pursuit of Freedom account was at 7,000. I think it's at 9,000 right now.
Yeah, I believe it's it.
I believe so. Like you guys have grown a lot. Every time I check, you guys have more and more followers. Like you guys
That's
are
the goal.
seriously keep it up. Definitely keep it up.
Thank you. I
Well,
mean,
we really appreciate the kind message,
thanks.
and yeah, we want kind of um, I've had this thought before where, if I want to spread this message, I gotta have sort of the mentality that I want the post that the my post that the viewer stumbles into to be the last post they see on the app, because I want
Yes.
them to see the post and be like, why am I here?
Yep.
Either if it's motivational, if it's more positivity driven,
Yeah.
whatever. But going back to an earlier point, if I can,
Yeah.
um, relating to the hardships, I think a big one is also the time we're able to put into it.
Yes.
Um, my brother studying full time, and it's not is a challenging degree, and it's not, you know, it's kind of far from home, commuting.
Yeah.
I work usually 9 to 7 p.m.
Yep.
Just 10 hours of your day just gone.
Yeah.
So you really need to. It's hard when you get home and you're like, a lot of your competitors had the whole day to work, and you just get home and you're kind of tired and maybe think, oh, I still need to go to the gym, or I need to do this, or I need to go shopping. And to still, even if it's just 1 hour, to put in that hour is still, sometimes it's pretty tough. But at the end of the day, you got to think, would I rather not put in this hour and in a year possibly regret it, or
Yes.
I mean,
It's
yeah, he puts in a lot. I mean,
it's what makes the
my end is
difference.
my end is much easier because I don't really put in a lot of work on my on my degree, but he puts in a lot of work. He would constantly sleep like 3 hours in his work days just to get his posts done, and he would be sleeping while making his posts,
Wow.
and he would like
yeah,
really push through. While I just
Good.
skipped my
It's
classes
what you
and
need to do.
yeah. There was some,
It's what you need to do.
especially around I would say November, which at my job was, because of the nature of my work, was a bit more intense. Yeah, I remember perfectly, just being making posts sometimes in hotel rooms, because I sometimes travel for work, and I would just easily like fall asleep. And I would fall
Yeah.
asleep for like 5 minutes and wake up and be like, oh, I got to finish
It's
this.
like, oh,
But I'm surprised, and
snap back into it.
yeah, I even told him, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, I was like, I'm surprised it never happened that I just like completely fell asleep and just woke up the next day. I would always, for some reason, I just knew I was just like wake up, even if it's like 20 minutes later. I was always wake up and just be like, oh, I got to finish this now.
Yeah. No,
And so
it's
yeah, you just gotta. It's just you have to be honest with yourself, and just say, look, I know it sucks. I know some people might have it easier than me. I know some people might be more talented. I mean, this and that, but you can only play with the cards you're dealt with, and so you
yes.
just gotta think: would I rather do it, or would I rather not do it? Because it literally just comes down to that.
Yeah, no excuses. Absolutely no excuse. I mean, if you really want it that bad, then you really have no excuse but to go and get it. That's really it. Like you said, not everybody's going to get dealt the best hands of cards. Half of these people that are out there right now that are super successful necessarily didn't get dealt the best hands of cards, but what they did was that they made the best of it.
yeah,
So yeah.
exactly.
Exactly. To give an example, if I can,
Yeah.
um, and he's more into basketball, so he knows more about this. But you got, and it's not to hate, but you got players like Wembanyama, where he's not a rookie anymore, but on the Spurs,
Yeah.
where like his whole life was like programmed for him to become a basketball player, and he came from like I think a relatively wealthy family.
Pretty.
And then you have like guys like, oh, like Kawhi Leonard, who came kind of from the hood and stuff.
Yep.
It's like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like
Nope.
you can't hate on Wemby for making the league, and you definitely can't hate on Kawhi. They both made it. You can
Yep.
make it too.
The thing is just maybe one had to put a little more work in the other. No matter what, we can all get there. It just depends on the amount of work you put in. 100%. What are your guys' short and long term goals when it comes to the company overall?
So I would say short term, I would say I'm looking at this current drop and the next drop. We want to wrap up this drop um, this month, or until maximum halfway through April. And our big goal right
Okay.
now is working on the second drop. I think this first drop really gave us so many really valuable insights that you can really only get from actually doing it, not from watching YouTube videos and whatnot. And so we really want this second drop we're really focused on making it the best possible thing it
Yeah.
is. We're going to spend a lot of time planning it and
Yeah,
producing it.
we've spent already a good
We've
amount of
spent
time.
already good time, and we're only looking to release it during the summer, maybe July. Um,
That's what I was gonna ask. Do we have a release date? Is there anything we can kind of get? I don't want any spoilers, but is there anything we can kind of
no.
get?
Well, we can say that we know what the products will be. We can
Yeah.
say that there's two items.
Okay.
It'll be a two-item drop, so less items than this one because we really want to focus on making it the best that we can make it.
Yeah.
A drop date, it will be in the summer. Um, at least what we consider summer. I don't know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you guys we consider
Yeah, it's
summer
it's a
like.
little different for us, but I'll have everybody make sure they're all tuning in constantly. I mean, your merchandise is so unique. Like I do look at a lot of merchandise. I love clothing, but I also love just the quality of things. And right now, there's a lot of manufacturers that are giving crap quality. They're going to do a really nice shirt, a really nice print, but the quality is shit. What advice would you guys give anybody who wants to make a company or a brand? Because I know, like right now, it's hard. Like you said yourself, the market is so oversaturated. So, is there any advice or any techniques that you would give somebody?
Well,
I guess having a big personal, if you call like our accounts like personal accounts, or
Yeah,
a bigger account to promote it, I
yeah,
guess
absolutely.
I'd say have a personal. I think having a personal brand would. We don't really have a personal brand with our accounts because it's not us, but having a personal brand with your account really, really helps it out.
Yeah,
yeah, we think we didn't just start the clothing brand out of nowhere. We grew our anime self improvement accounts for a while
smart.
beforehand, which gave it helped give it an initial push because the initial part is
Yeah,
the hardest. Because why would anyone, there's 100 people talking,
Exactly.
trying to set it. Why would anyone listen to you specifically?
Right.
So I'd say that, and I'd say something that's really important, and it's another like one of these motivational messages. And my brother really helped me understand because I was all about no, we have to research this, we have to know how to do this, we have to know how to do this. And my brother is the complete opposite, which he's just like, let's just do it,
Yeah.
let's just do it.
Just go for it.
And I think, yeah, and I do think that, and I think he has this attitude more than anyone I know in my life of just doing it. If you want to do it, just go ahead. You'll learn. You'll fail. You'll learn. The most important part of doing anything is doing it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I would definitely say that.
Absolutely.
And yeah, just being passionate about it.
Yeah.
It's a very basic answer, but if you
No, it's
don't, if you
not.
don't,
It's not. It's the truth. It's really the truth.
but yeah, it is the truth.
Like,
Sometimes something is everybody says it because at the end of the day is the truth. I don't think you can't really keep up with something in the long term if you like despise it.
right.
That's why I remember. I think I told this to my brother when I was at a part of my job that I really didn't like,
Yeah.
and I don't like my job overall, but that's just because the way I want to live.
Right.
But no complaints to my job. I'm blessed to be in the position I'm in. But I remember telling my brother, I get why. I completely understand why. You see people, you see those road rage videos of people just going crazy over the smallest things. Because I wanted to be that guy. I would have people just do like the smallest little thing in traffic, and I would just want to be. I would just think like I want to get out of the car and
Yeah. Just
pull
go.
this person out of the car.
Just go.
Because I was no, honestly, I had terrible thoughts, and because you're kind of sleep deprived, and you're just going. I'm just gonna spend like 12 hours in a job that I just don't like. I just don't want to be here. Nobody else wants to be here. Why are we here?
Yeah.
I don't think you can really stick to something that you hate. You really got to try hard to
It almost feels like a repeating cycle too. Like you wake up, you go to bed, it's the same thing. You lose
it's the same
motivation,
thing.
you lose the drive. Like you don't.
You lose drive, the time starts flying by,
Yes.
and yeah, when you have a job, you realize how fast time moves because you're always doing shit all day. There's no like downtime. And it's just like literally the weeks just fly by,
Yeah.
and suddenly it's Saturday, and
Literally. Yeah.
and you're happy, and then suddenly it's Monday, and you're depressed again, and it really is dangerous to get into that cycle. It really is dangerous because especially if I feel kind of blessed that I really don't like my job,
Yeah.
because it's something that actually pushes me.
It's that extra motivational
Um,
push. Yep.
yeah, because the most dangerous thing I think is being kind of okay with it. Because if you're kind of okay with it, you'll just be like, I just got home. Do I really want to
Yeah.
do I really want to, just post a video or something? I won't. And you
Absolutely.
just live there. You live in that kind of okay state
Yep.
forever. And I feel like a lot of people live there, and a lot of people end up regretting it.
Yeah, they do. It's I think me and you we're those type of people, right? Where we listen to those quotes and we make action from it. We don't just let it go one ear and out the other. You
Yeah,
really need to make action with these things. Some things we say, like when you give motivation, it's going to sound cliche. I know the things sometimes that I post is cliche, but it's also something that somebody needs to hear to get that other motivation to go and get to that dream.
exactly. And that's something that we've actually talked about, is that um, is something we've really tried to change. At least me, I'm sure him as well. With when we see quotes, is that I think most people, they see these quotes and they're like, facts,
Yeah,
and they just move on with their
literally.
day.
And then just scroll right past it.
And
Not one
yeah, but
thought.
sometimes you really gotta, you write it down, keep repeating it in your head, take some sort of action that day towards that one quote. Because yeah, it's the small changes that really make the biggest difference in your life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, just to wrap it up, is there anything that you guys live by? Anything that you kind of just want to share to anybody just to give that extra motivation?
If we had to say like something we live by, I'd say like for me, it's just keep moving forward,
Yeah,
independent of like what happens. You just gotta keep going. I believe, I believe the universe. I believe God, the universe, whatever you want to believe, will repay you. And if you really like want it and you put in the work, I think God will reward you and will
absolutely.
make it happen.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
would say, um, I think a lot of people live sort of asleep, and I would just sort of in a way and urge people, 'cause even if it's just one person watching this video who maybe is like I used to be, just wake up.
Yep,
Honestly, just wake up.
that's it. I love it. Well, then we'll end it there. I appreciate you guys coming on. Really, I'm so glad we got to push this out, and I'm just excited for everything in the future. I wish nothing but the best for you guys.
Yeah.
Um,
I hope like in 2 years we can like both like the three of us rewatch this
we will.
podcast and be like,
We're gonna
let's
sit
go.
there.
At
We're
our
gonna
penthouse in
rewatch it.
Miami.
We're gonna reflect. Oh, it's gonna be awesome. We're gonna do it. We just got to stay with it. Absolutely.
Exactly.
But I really do. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate you guys just coming on. I'm so glad we got to push this out. I appreciate everybody watching. You can find all of their links down below, the clothing brand, both of their Instas, everything. You guys can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And this is the Dowden Podcasts.